All right, yeah, let's go. Session two. Everybody, be happy. All right. So we're gonna start with development for you guys. So if you guys remember, uh, whatever you have bubbled in on your character sheet, and I'm gonna just open up James's over here. You have nothing bubbled in. All right. did you increase your skills already?
No, I told you
No.
I didn't do it because I'm a dingus,
All
so
right,
I
that's
forgot.
we're gonna have to scroll. This happens with every group. It's no problem. Okay. So, Ida, you do have a couple there. So everything that you bubbled in, you're gonna roll a one
Yeah.
d10, and then you will increase the skill based on that amount.
Okay.
So, James,
Woohoo.
you have nothing bubbled in, so we have to scroll back.
Okay, I know for sure that I have failed a listening check at the very least, and also
That's the
a
first thing that comes by.
shooty check.
Yep. So you have a listen that you can level up with a 1d10. Isaiah, I don't know if you've bubbled stuff in, but you also
I
failed
I
listen.
do have some bubble stuff. I bubbled appraise, listen, medicine, psychology, and spot hidden.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, you'll roll 1d10s for those. James has listen.
Failed spot hidden.
Well, I
Yep.
increased my medicine from 1 to 2.
Based.
Crushing it.
Spot
Just
hidden, you
gonna
failed.
uncheck
That's
them as
correct.
I do them, so
God
I don't.
damn.
What do you type in again to roll?
On
Uh,
the left, there's a picture of a dice. If you press
Oh,
that, it'll pop up the
you can also do
options.
/roll space 1d10 as well.
Ooh, my medicine increases by 3, y'all. So basically, I'm
Woo!
really good at
So
it
you're
now.
the group healer now.
Oh, dude, yeah. James had a fumble on the damn on the handgun roll.
Oh, I failed an appraise roll. Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
I played that for jokes.
Okay.
Do we unbubble our skills once we've increased
Yes.
them?
Yes, because if you fail
God, I
again this
rolled
time,
shit.
the next session you will increase it again. So it's 100% you want to
Chris,
do that.
why are you the way that you are? I rolled a 1, 2, a 4, and a 5, and the two rolls I see from you are 9s.
That's not me.
That's me.
Oh, that's you. Why are you the way that you are?
Oh, I forgot to do for listen. Hey, look at that.
There you go.
Okay, I've gone through the chat, found every single thing that I
Add
failed
Chris
in.
back to it.
Perfect. So now once you guys are done rolling your 1d10s, you can roll another 1d10 for to kind of get more luck. As you remember, luck is more of a currency. If one of you wants to do the recap, because I think one of you said you do remember, you can roll a 1d20 if you want to do a recap.
All right, now
As a
Julia, you can
reminder,
say what you said.
yeah, I'm saying it. It's fuck you. Remind me, Callie. Can luck go above? Because I didn't use any last session.
I don't think any of you
Do I
did
still?
actually.
I
Uh-uh.
don't think we did. I don't think.
No, it can't
I
go
think
above.
usually when we failed hard enough that it'd be.
It was yeah, you didn't want to waste any luck.
It
Yeah.
can't go with what beyond what we started with, or like beyond 100.
Beyond what you started with.
Oh, well, in that case, I will reduce it back to what it was.
See.
Okay.
That was a waste of a 10.
All right. And so
So sad.
I don't mind doing the
I'll take
recap
it.
then. You'll take the luck?
Yeah, I'll take the 10 he rolled and just pick
Oh,
one of
and
my
pick something
skills.
else.
Well,
Yeah.
you can't. So
Oh,
it's just gonna sit there forever unused.
Roll the
so
10.
mean.
Hell yeah.
Yes, I gotta open the
Okay. So I
campaign.
so I need to make note that my luck started at 75, so I never go above.
Oh,
I
wait
mean,
a
I
minute.
can give a
No, it can go
not
above where
very
it
good,
started. No, it can go above where it
half
started.
decent
I'm thinking of a
recap.
Oh,
different rule set.
Oh,
in that case,
Yeah, I'm thinking of something else.
all right. Let's see if I can roll another one.
I'm
Close.
doing my Friday's Delta Green, so I'm like I got like rules being mixed up in my head a little bit, so I do apologize for that. As you can tell, my Friday group is very, very vocal. in the
You said we could
Discord.
do a luck checker. What was it?
So every session you're gonna roll a 1d10 to kind of get back some luck if you spent any, or
I
just get
didn't spend
more.
any. Word. Okay. 8. It's the magic
God damn.
number.
Yeah. So normally what I do, like I was saying before, like if you do a recap, I let you roll a 1d20. Now it doesn't seem very valuable to you guys because you guys haven't used any of it. But,
Give
but
us time. We've only had one
one
session.
day you will be begging to do the recaps for that extra luck. One day. I gotta find out. So you guys set a museum on fire, allegedly.
We did not set it on fire.
Allegedly.
We merely put out the fire.
No. I would believe y'all put it on fire. I didn't see anything to the
Exactly.
contrary.
According to the doctor, nothing weird happened. All right, so we're around here. Yes, okay, this is where we left off. Normally I would have had this prepared, but I was running a bit late in my... All right. So, I'm going to do a bit of a recap here. And I'm going to put on my music. So, you guys meet up at the Bar Cordano. You meet up with Augustus Larkin, who tells you of this site that's filled with gold and promising you adventure and all of this stuff. There are 2 other people there aside from Augustus Larkin. You have a Jesse Hughes which that's an alias for a Jackson Elias, and a Luis de Mendoza, who was accompanying Mr. Larkin. And he gives you all this stuff, but you guys, some of you notice some weird stuff with him, and he makes an exit from the Bar Cordano, and you guys, you introduce yourself to each other, you introduce yourself to Jackson Elias, and he tells you a little bit more about kind of what's going on around Peru. And part of what's going on around Peru is that there's a lot of missing people, possibly just going missing, and the locals are attributing it to some myth about the Karasiri. And obviously, Jackson Elias does not believe it. He thinks it's about a death cult, and he reveals himself to be a writer, which for our esteemed Dr. Isaiah Franklin, he, after a while, at least he recognizes him later at the museum, as somebody who's written quite a bit. Jackson Elias invites you guys to meet with a Professor Sanchez at the museum the following day. A couple of you guys see some weird things at night. Dr. Isaiah Franklin gets a strange letter. And I forget which one of you two, but only one of you, I think, slept the night like a baby. Had no problems. The next day, you guys head to the museum. This is where the fun begins. You guys get there early, and you notice a man in a kind of like a black overcoat or something heading downstairs. One of you, Dr. Isaiah Franklin, you get left behind, but the rest of you witness an attack on Trinidad Rizzo, who is the assistant of Professor Sanchez. You guys do end up managing to save her life. However, the person that you saw, turning out to be Luis de Mendoza, manages to escape from the fence. He then starts a fire up top, and while all of you are distracted, begins to attack Professor Sanchez by doing something to him. As you guys witness this horrific moment where he's vomiting into his mouth, combat again begins with this larva, which you expertly managed to dispatch before who knows what could have happened there by smashing a plant over the larva's head. Of course, Luis de Mendoza escapes, and I believe Dr. Isaiah Franklin was too focused with the fire. He doesn't know anything happened. And so I believe some of you had some sanity loss going on there. If any of you had any temporary insanity, you are now cured. No more temporary insanity. And I believe Trinidad Rizzo and both Professor Sanchez are heading to the hospital now. I do like to mention, I believe Trinidad Rizzo gave, I believe, Jethro the journal. I believe it was, yeah, just James just has it. No, it wasn't Jethro, it was James who has it.
Yeah.
The journal, and I believe also the golden rod as well. And now we leave off here. We come back to our team party and waiting for the police and the fire department to show up. So let us begin here with James. Fire's going off, and might not be. This might be better because it was just on that. So the fire department shows up, splashing water over the fire. Everything calms down. And James, since you're the first one up there, we're gonna start like this. The police come up to you, and Trinidad is conscious since you were managed to save her life, though she's very weak. And the police come up to you, and obviously in Spanish, they ask you, what happened here? What is going on?
Hola, senor. English.
He puts his hand on his face. He sees the girl. He goes like, did this man do this to you? Trinidad says that you saved her life. So you, James, have avoided being arrested.
Yay.
She gets kind of carried away, but she looks at you before she gets carried away, and she goes, the man was after the golden rod. The man was after the golden rod. And then they put her in the back of and they take her away to the hospital. The rest of the cops head inside, and they look at they look at you, Professor Franklin. They begin to communicate with you, and they're like, what happened here? What happened here?
That's us with the professor?
For Doctor, I'm sorry. Oh my God, I'm stupid.
Okay,
Dr.
okay.
Franklin, Dr. Franklin, not
Character,
Professor Franklin.
PC professor. Okay.
I know, I'm
I
stupid.
am a professor.
He is a professor. Wait, yeah. No, I was right. Doctor,
I'm
Professor.
Yeah,
both a
with you.
professor and a doctor. I'm a man of multitudes.
Many doctors are, many professors are doctors.
So I'm going to communicate back with them. Well, you see, there was a fire in that room. I think an older lady outside was injured. And well, the good professor is right in the other room. I can take you to see him. I don't even know anything is happening in the other room. We can go right over and see him.
Okay, take me there. Take me there.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm gonna lead him around.
All right. So then we, the cops go with Dr. Professor Franklin, and now we witness here Jethro and Ida, and we see the professor. He's got burn marks around his mouth, and he's still kind of going nuts. He kissed me. He kissed me. And the cops look at you two, and they go like, "Did you attack this man?" And he says it in
No.
Spanish, but you can tell that it's aggressively towards you guys.
Okay.
They wouldn't do anything. Don't I'm like answering in Spanish.
Yeah.
And then the professor,
Sorry?
the professor says the same thing as Trinidad, and says that no, they saved me. They saved me. And so the cops look at you, and they go, thank you. And they take him up, and then he also gets put in the ambulance as well. Everything begins to calm down.
When
And
they put him in the ambulance and everything, I very seriously look at Jethro and say, it's fine to kiss, but you should really ask for consent first.
It wasn't me. I mean, I know, I'm an artist. I know. Anyways, it wasn't me. It was some bug. I don't know what it was. That sounds crazy. No. I don't know. I don't know. And he's like still like clearly trying to make sense of what happened.
Wait, did I see that it was the thing from downstairs, or did I only come in after?
Uh, I guess. Well, you can't communicate with the cops, so they don't really know what you said.
Well,
They're,
I'm
they-
not talking to. I'm talking about the conversation now with the PCs.
Oh, okay.
I'm just trying to clarify what I know.
We were both here, right?
I did have to make a sanity check, but I can't remember if that was just for the whole bug situation.
It was for the bug situation. So you all know about the man downstairs, except
That's
for
true.
Dr. Frank.
It's true. Jethro also
Yeah.
would have remembered.
Yeah,
the man
That's Dr.
downstairs. Okay.
Professor Franklin to you.
Yeah, Dr. Professor Franklin. He's the only one who doesn't know what happened at all. He's the only one who's clueless about everything that's happened.
Rip. Did you see where that bug came from?
It came from his mouth. No. I mean, it couldn't have. I mean, he just started throwing up, right?
No, you saw him vomit into his mouth. You can basically
great.
you can make that connection. That's why you had to throw up in the plant in the last session and lost the sanity over.
Well, this is gonna sound crazy, but we saw a guy trying to kill, or a thing trying to kill somebody downstairs, and he came upstairs and was vomiting into his mouth. I don't know.
Disgusting.
I don't think I'll ever forget it.
What's that?
No, I would imagine not.
Clever movement. I think they're just a little
No, it's a
crazy.
totally normal situation. Why wouldn't you believe that?
True. It's very
I
normal.
lift up the plant pot to see like if the larva's still there. Is it still there?
Roll a luck check.
Okay.
Okay. So despite it being smashed, it's still kind of intact enough, like the shape and the tentacles that came out of it, that it like you can tell. You don't know like how weird it is, Hex, but you like it wouldn't make you lose sanity, but you can tell it's a very, very big, large, and strange bug.
Can I analyze it with any particular check?
Let's see. Should be a. You can roll for anthropology.
Ooh, all right. Allegedly good at that. Not very though.
No, not at all. But I'll tell
This
you
is
what.
Too complex.
The next session that you now it's gonna be stronger. But basically, you look at it and you're like, it's probably just some weird bug from South America or something. It's not weird to you.
I mean, it's certainly large, but it's probably just something native here, some form of large jungle slug. Certainly nothing of concern.
James,
It's, high stress situations can lead to some psychosomatic symptoms. I'm certain a good night's rest would do you some good.
I think you would think differently if you had been here to see it. I don't blame you for thinking that.
by the way, James, you can jump into the, you can walk back into the room whenever you feel appropriate.
Well, that was exciting. Where do we go from here? Has anybody seen where Mr. Elias went?
Mr. Elias, as almost as you say it, kind of walks in there with James as I see him moving his token. he was the one who managed to bring the police department and fire department over here. Uh, just kind of try to help. And he goes like, "Jesus, guys, what happened?"
That's what I was about to say.
Difficult to describe.
I know it wasn't you guys who started the fire, but did you guys see who might have done it?
Well, we didn't
Yes.
ignite it, but we tried to fight it.
Who?
3 of us saw who would have done it, but I'm not sure you would believe us.
It's more
Oh.
of a it than a who.
It.
Correct. Well, could we tell it was Mendoza, right?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. You guys know it was him from the attack downstairs.
Okay,
I
okay.
believe it was Mr. Mendoza.
Luis de Mendoza?
You bet your
That's the one?
bippy.
Elias kind of sits back down on like one of the couches and he goes like, "This has gotten very dangerous."
I'll say. Very exciting.
Why? I wonder why he was here. I guess Professor Sanchez was getting too close. He was rejected on going to the expedition on Sunday.
Oh, actually, I think I might have the answer to that one.
Really?
And James reaches into his pocket and pulls out the golden rod.
All right.
Apparently, he was looking for this.
So now I will reveal the goldenrod handout to everybody's journals.
Wait, where did James get it? Or did he just have it?
He got it from Trinidad before she
Okay,
passed on
she
the
had it.
aliens. Yeah.
I was born with it.
Yeah, he just brought it with him.
Understandable. Some people just are.
He came off the boat from Peru. So you guys have that little handout now just as a little clue. And you guys when he brings it out, it's a large gold rod. Like made of solid gold with like little runic inscriptions on it. And it's very valuable if you guys wanted to sell it, but you could tell just it's more that you should know that it's like it's solid gold.
Peering. What on earth is that?
Jackson Elias kind of puts his hand on it and he goes like, did was there anything else that he wanted?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he wanted it, but uh, what's her face? The lady Trinidad. She gave me this, and he pulls out the journal. I can't read nothing in it except for the word Titicaca, which was really funny.
I will now reveal that to everyone. And I will read it to the players. Uh, it's translated in Spanish, so only really Jackson and Dr. Franklin can really read it. So the Spanish, written by Gaspar Figueroa in 1543 on vellum. Uh, Figueroa, a Spaniard who had traveled to Peru with Francisco Pizarro. According to the text, Figueroa set out to seek his own fortune following Pizarro's assassination in 1541. He was accompanied by Hernando Ruiz, Diego Garrido, and Luis de Mendoza, and Pedro de Velasco, fellow conquistadors who had served with Pizarro. They traveled into the southern highlands of the Andes, looking for treasure, hoping to make their fortunes before heading back to Spain and retiring in luxury. Hearing rumors of an ancient temple filled with gold, the men set off into the mountains southwest of Lake Titicaca, where they found a pyramid surrounded by maze like structures of underground tunnels. The walls of the tunnels were inlaid with intricate gold carvings. The men pried out a large section of the gold, exhausting themselves in the attempt. That night, as they rested, an evil sickness befell Figueroa's companions. In the morning, in the morning light, they looked like giant, gaunt, and death-like, complaining of agonizing hunger. They pursued Figueroa. De Mendoza caught up with him and started to devour him like a human leech. Figueroa shot his friend in the head and fled, pausing only to snatch up as much gold as he could carry. Figueroa eventually arrived back in Lima, hoping to get passage home, but was too weakened by his ordeal. Figueroa described himself as wasted, little more than a walking corpse. I read Final Confessions as Figueroa's attempt to lift the guilt that his avarice has placed upon him. He believed that his fate and that of his companions were brought about by their desecration of a holy place, and his most fervent wish was that he could undo the damage he had inflicted. He describes how he can still hear his friends' voices crying out with inhuman hunger, and how in the dark of the night he can hear another voice, ancient and seductive, promising him eternal life if he returns to the temple. The voice told Figueroa how to contact it, but it seems Figueroa was too afraid to ever attempt this. A postscript written by a priest who performed his last rites states that Figueroa died a day after completing his final confessions. His last words were an entreaty to whatever gods were listening to forgive him and his blasphemies. So Jackson Elias, so Doctor Isaiah Franklin, Doctor Professor Isaiah Franklin, he he can read it out loud as well, but Jackson Elias kind of reads kind of the journal to you guys. So there's a few things you should be taking from this.
Yeah, I think we got him. Probably.
I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that Mendoza's name being in this journal ain't a coincidence.
You don't think it would have been an ancestor of his? I mean,
I mean,
surely.
it's right there plain as day, Luis de Mendoza.
Well, yes, people are named after their forefathers.
His full
Quite
name?
often. Certainly, Luis de Mendoza the First, Luis de Mendoza the Third, and so on. It
You
happens
saw him in that
commonly
basement,
enough.
right? That feller ain't natural.
I'm sorry, what do
No,
you
but
mean
I
saw in the
don't jump
basement?
to
Oh,
someone who can
sorry,
live
Franklin, I forgot you weren't
hundreds of
there.
years.
Well, at this point, I can't really rule out anything when I done seen a feller sucking the soul out of somebody's chest.
Hold on, is that really what we saw?
No, that's what it looked like.
It did
You
look
did all witness him.
something like that.
You did all witness his circular saw mouth drilled into Trinidad's chest.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Jethro is in hard denial.
Okay.
I'm sure there's an explanation for that that doesn't include what immortality.
But I don't think there ain't no other explanation except we got demons among us.
Jackson, he kind of looks to it and he's like, this is clearly all superstition. I'm sure what you guys probably saw down at the basement was probably very traumatic. But the question now is what do we do about the expedition coming
Watch our ass, I bet you that much. And sorry for cussing.
up? Hmm.
Don't be sorry on my behalf.
Jackson Elias takes a seat back down on the couch. And he looks very deep in thought.
Well, I certainly don't see any reason why we shouldn't go. In any case, whatever we saw, we bested. Everyone here is okay. I'm sure
I
we could do it
don't know
again.
about that. And he kind of looks at the professor on the ground, the curator, rather.
Well, he got
He's
put in an
gone.
ambulance, all right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's on his
Well,
way to the hospital. Hopefully.
sure that we survived this encounter, but I don't know. That feller Mendoza, he didn't seem like he was wanting to fight us, but I mean, the way he was moving, I don't think any of us could have took him if he really wanted to kill us.
Well, and it seemed we frightened him off, we thought, but he returned. Just set a fire and you said attacked the doctor?
Yeah, I'm not really sure why he went and did that. Also, sorry, it smells in here. Did someone throw up?
Jethro slowly walks away from the pile of vomit, trying to be subtle.
Ah!
We also have to keep in mind how involved is Mr. Larkin.
Well, I was wary of him in the first place, but he seems pretty close with Mendoza, and I just saw Mendoza attempt to eat a woman, and not in a. I'm gonna move on from that sentence.
Well,
I th-
surely Larkin has to know something about Mendoza.
The way I figure it, I think Larkin may or may not be over his head. I think all he really sees is gold.
uh, Jackson, he looks at you guys and goes, "You think the cult might be manipulating
I don't know about the rest of us, but I think so.
him?"
Perhaps he just has no idea. Or, like you
Ignorance
said,
ain't
he's
no
just here
excuse.
like the rest of us for. Well, I mean, if you don't know, then how could he possibly?
Well, that's the thing. He does know. He's heard from folks around the area who done said the place is cursed, and whether or not that curse is real, which I'm kind of starting to think about a little more seriously.
I
Something
think it.
is dangerous in those ruins, and he knows full well that something is dangerous, but he don't care. And I think he's willing to take any risks to get some prime moolah out of the diz.
Well, in any
Perhaps.
case, it didn't look like Mendoza liked him very much. He was
That,
glaring a hole in his head.
that was at me. Jackson
Oh,
Yeah, I was
eyes
gonna
kind of
say
meekly
just
says,
kidding.
"What I do know is that I think with this journal, I can find the location of the pyramids myself. We don't
Yeah,
necessarily need Augustus Larkin anymore."
true. How's about we set up our own little excavation?
Might it be prudent to at least talk to Mr. Larkin? See what he has to say about the matter?
I'm willing to do whatever you guys want to do. Jackson Elias gets up and he says, I'm gonna head back to the hotel. If you guys choose to confront Mr. Larkin or talk to him or whatever you want to do, let me know. By the time you guys return, or by before the trip, essentially, Elias says that before 8 a.m. Sunday, uh, he can have us leaving to the location before Larkin leaves to get there before him. But he needs to go decipher kind of the location and make those like calculations himself for a little while. So when you guys have made your decision about kind of what your next steps are to go return to him at the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in any case, I think we should all reconvene at the hotel and talk there, maybe. I don't necessarily feel very safe in this slightly burned museum.
I'd love to get out of here.
That's an excellent point. It's not a fantastic environment.
Doctor Professor, you in agreement? Been very quiet.
Well, I don't see anything wrong with the museum. I mean, yeah, a little fire broke out, but I'm more than happy to go to the hotel to talk things through if you're uncomfortable here.
Oh, Franklin, you probably have absolutely no idea what in the world we were talking about just now.
No, it's fine. I was following the conversation. I'm sure it was a harrowing ordeal, and I'm sure you all feel like you need to rest, and we should talk at the hotel.
Right. I'll fill you in on the way there. So, we got into the basement and
Yes. So he explains kind of everything that happens to you on the way back, and now I will move everyone back to the Hotel Mori.